Death is coming for our family.
I said, oh, 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 oh.
Good luck.
Destination Finale, Bloodline. The story opens in 1968 at the Skyview Restaurant's opening night. Iris and her boyfriend Paul celebrate on the observation deck. Paul proposes placing an engagement ring on Iris's finger. At this moment, something sinister awakens in Iris's mind. She suddenly sees a horrific premonition unfold before her eyes. A young boy above them playfully tosses a shiny coin into the air. The coin spins through the darkness, catching the light as it falls. As if guided by an invisible force, the coin drops perfectly into a ventilation shaft below, wedging itself between the fan blades and stopping the entire system. This single coin, seemingly harmless, becomes the trigger that will doom everyone in the building. The dance floor beneath starts breaking as people celebrate. Paul plunges through the floor. People begin falling everywhere, desperately grabbing onto metal beams. Paul manages to catch a piece of reinforced glass, but when Iris reaches for him, he slips and falls to his death. Chaos erupts as panicked guests try to escape. A woman on fire runs into a gas leak, causing a massive explosion. The emergency walkway collapses, killing everyone who tries to use it. Survivors rush to the elevator, shoving each other violently. An old man pushes Iris aside, but gets crushed when the overloaded elevator malfunctions. As the floor splits in half, people slide down onto the glass below. A piano teeters overhead. Death drops another coin onto it, and the piano crashes down, killing a woman. The same piano then crushes the boy who started it all. Iris spots another child in danger and risks everything to save him. Just as the building collapses, she grabs onto a piece of metal, but it's actually Paul's engagement ring, hooked on a steel rod. The hold gives way, and Iris falls into the fire below. Stephanie wakes up from this nightmare during class. She's been having the exact same dream for 2 months straight. The woman in her dreams is named Iris, which is her grandmother's name, but Stephanie has never met her and doesn't know if she's alive. Her roommate suggests she go home and find out more. At home, Stephanie asks her father, Marty, about Iris. He frowns and smiles awkwardly, clearly hiding something. When her brother Charlie mentions visiting their cousins, Stephanie decides to tag along. Before they leave, Marty warns them not to mention Iris to their relatives. At their cousin's house, Stephanie approaches her uncle Howard about her mother, Darlene. Howard looks stunned and tries to change the subject. But when Stephanie mentions Skyview Restaurant from her dreams, both Howard and his wife Brenda freeze in shock. Her cousins Eric, Julia, and Bobby gather around, eager to learn more. They reveal that Iris isn't dead, but suffered a mental breakdown. After their father died, Iris lost control. She stopped letting the kids go to school, locked them inside, and lived in constant fear that her children would die. Police eventually intervened and took her away. Later, when Howard and Brenda had children, Iris started sending disturbing letters filled with warnings and gruesome photos of dead bodies. They moved away and cut all contact. Stephanie begs to see the letters. Brenda secretly tells her where they're hidden. When Stephanie finds them, she's shocked to see the woman in the photos matches her dreams exactly. Determined to get answers, she drives alone to find Iris. At a remote mountain hideout, Iris speaks to her through an intercom and urges her to leave. When Stephanie explains she's her granddaughter, Iris insists she empty her pockets before entering. The house is filled with strange obstacles and spikes on the roof for protection against unseen threats. Iris nervously orders her to close the door quickly as a fire extinguisher falls outside. Iris asks about Stephanie's mother. Stephanie explains they've been separated since she was 10. When Stephanie describes her nightmare, Iris tells her it wasn't just a dream. She once saw the future. That night at Skyview, she grabbed the coin from the boy's hand before he could throw it. She rushed downstairs and warned everyone about the cracks in the floor. She saved many lives that night. The building didn't collapse, and the restaurant shut down. But Death didn't like having his plans ruined. Years later, he came back and killed everyone who was there that night, including her husband, Paul. Iris has spent years learning to see death coming and stopping disasters. Now Death has caught up with her. She has cancer. While talking to Stephanie, Iris lets her guard down. A magnifying glass reflects sunlight onto a rope, making it smoke. Iris quickly knocks the glass aside. Iris tells Stephanie her dreams are a sign because she might have inherited the gift. She begs her to stay and learn, warning it's dangerous outside. She hasn't stepped out in 20 years, but Stephanie refuses. She needs to return to school. Iris warns that death is coming for their family, but Stephanie thinks it's just a dream. As Stephanie leaves, Iris has a vision. She knows if she steps outside, she will die. But for her granddaughter, she takes the risk. She throws her book into Stephanie's arms, telling her it can protect the family. When Stephanie still doesn't believe her, Iris says she'll prove it's real. A sudden wind knocks over a compass, which hits a fire extinguisher. The extinguisher flies through the air and stabs Iris through the mouth, killing her instantly. At Iris's funeral, Stephanie tells her father and uncle that Iris warned death was coming, but they don't believe her. Her mother, Darlene, suddenly appears, still angry at Iris. Stephanie walks away in disgust. Back home, Stephanie reads Iris's book while the family enjoys a barbecue at Howard's house. Death has arrived. Bobby accidentally breaks a glass, and a shard mixes with the ice cubes. When everyone gathers to drink, they unknowingly use ice with glass shards. Howard raises a toast about enjoying life. Everyone clinks glasses and takes a sip. Julia suddenly starts choking, but it turns out she just swallowed wrong. Stephanie reads about a coin incident and barbecue grill in the book. Outside, Eric lights the grill while Bobby calls Charlie to jump on the trampoline, not noticing a sharp rake hidden beneath it. Darlene spots the hidden rake and rushes to remove it, but Brenda accidentally knocks over a bottle, hitting a switch that starts twisting pipes underneath. When Stephanie arrives, Howard walks over to greet her. Bobby's leg gets stuck in the trampoline, and Julia turns to look, causing a glass shard to fall from her cup. Howard steps on the shard just as the rake falls onto a lawnmower. He loses his balance and falls. The mower charges straight at him, ending his life. At another funeral, Stephanie analyzes the book. She realizes they're all connected by blood to Iris and can't escape death. She explains the pattern. Death follows a specific order, starting with Howard's family, then moving to hers. Since Eric is Howard's oldest son, he's next. But no one believes her, and they all walk away. That night at his tattoo shop, Eric works alone. A spinning fan brushes against a hanging chain that hooks onto his nose ring. Disinfectant spills onto the floor. The fan keeps turning, pulling the chain tighter. Eric stands on his tiptoes, struggling to balance. He accidentally bumps a lamp, which falls and ignites the disinfectant. Eric desperately tries to free himself. At the last second, he yanks off the chain, but falls and knocks over more disinfectant. The shop explodes. Stephanie finds Eric the next morning. He survived by tearing off his burning clothes, but he still doesn't believe death is hunting them. Later, while Stephanie follows Eric, trying to protect him, they encounter Julia jogging. A garbage truck rolls by. Eric starts goofing around near it. Julia ignores them and keeps running with headphones on. Suddenly, she's thrown into the garbage truck. They chase after it, but the driver can't hear them. Stephanie jumps onto the truck and grabs Julia's hand, but it's too late. Julia is crushed by the compactor. Now, the family finally believes Stephanie. Brenda reveals a shocking truth. Eric isn't Howard's biological son. He's the result of her affair. That's why Eric survived, which means Bobby is next. Stephanie remembers a name from the notes, William. They rush to the hospital to find him. William turns out to be the boy Iris saved that night. He explains there are only 2 ways to beat death: kill someone to take their place, or die and come back. He warns them not to interfere too much, because if they fail, things could become worse. Eric decides to save Bobby by triggering his peanut allergy, then bringing him back. They buy peanuts from a vending machine, but it gets stuck. Eric smashes the glass to get them. They enter a room, but accidentally activate an MRI scanner. The magnetic force pulls everything metal. Eric's body piercings are ripped toward the machine. A wheelchair flies forward too. Eric is crushed into the MRI machine. Bobby, who just ate the peanuts, tries reaching for the EpiPen in Eric's hand. When a doctor opens the door, a loose spring from the vending machine flies across the room and stabs through Bobby's head. Stephanie, Darlene, and Charlie realize they can't fight death anymore. They drive to Iris's mountain cabin. At the cabin, Stephanie slams the gas and drives straight into it. The car crashes, and her seatbelt traps her. As Darlene reaches the cabin door, a huge explosion blasts the car. Stephanie's body plunges into a nearby pond, while Charlie gets pinned by wooden boards. Darlene crawls over and frees Charlie, telling him to save Stephanie. Right after, a light pole falls and kills her. Charlie pulls Stephanie out just in time. She was unconscious, but he revived her. They think this is what William meant by dying and coming back. A week later, Charlie visits his girlfriend's house with Stephanie. While fixing Charlie's clothes, Stephanie pricks her finger on a rose thorn. She remembers her nightmare. Iris had also pricked her finger. An old woman drops a coin that rolls down and gets stuck between train tracks. Charlie's girlfriend's father mentions that Stephanie hadn't technically died since her heart never stopped. The train derails and charges straight at them. Stephanie trips and falls. Charlie grabs her and pulls her up. For a moment, it looks like they've escaped, but the movie ends showing that death always wins. Thanks for watching till the end. Your support keeps us going and helps us bring more awesome stories to life. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and stay tuned for the next movie on Addict Recap.